Actor and filmmaker Crispon Glover has been called a force to be reckoned with by the New York Times. His cinematic It trilogy has played to audiences around the world, garnering critical acclaim for its bold, unabashed artistic risk and narrative form. Duke City audiences will get to experience two of the trilogy's films this weekend at the Guild Cinema in anticipation of the screenings. We have the man himself, Crispon Glover, in the studio. Sir, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're kind of a legend, my friend.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it.
All right, well, let's talk about the It trilogy. You've got a lot of stuff going on at the Guild Cinema, one of the best art house cinemas in Albuquerque, really arguably the top art house cinema. The It trilogy, what's it all about?
Well, the first film, What Is It, which I'm playing on the second night, most of the actors in the film have Down syndrome, but the film is not about Down syndrome at all, and they're not playing characters that have Down syndrome. What it really is my psychological reaction to the corporate constraints that have happened in the last 30 years of filmmaking, wherein anything that can possibly make an audience member uncomfortable is necessarily excised, or that film will not be corporately funded or distributed. I think it's a very damaging thing, because it's those moments when an audience member sits back in their chair, looks up at the screen, thinks to themselves, is this right what I'm watching? Is this wrong what I'm watching? Should I be here? Should the filmmaker have done this? What is it? And that's the title of the film.
I mean, the imagery in this film is, obviously, folks, you're seeing a 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning version. Very striking imagery.
No, and I have a Q&A after the show before I perform a live show. But the part of the reason that I tour with the films is it's designed to have questions. This is what I think is lacking in our corporately funded and distributed film culture right now. And when people are asking questions, they're having an educational experience, and that's very important to have happening. So, so the film is designed for evoking thoughts and questions, which I'm a great advocate of. The second film, which is the first film I'll show tomorrow night, is called It Is Fine, Everything Is Fine. That was written by one of the actors that's in What Is It. He did not have Down syndrome. He was born with a severe case of cerebral palsy, and when he was in his early 20s and his mother died, he was locked into a nursing home.
Now, he's the star of the film, and It Is Fine.
He wrote it and is the main actor in it, and he was very difficult to understand, and the people that were taking care of him at the nursing home would derisively call him an MR, a mental retard, which is not a nice thing to say to anybody, but Steve was of normal intelligence, and the emotional turmoil that he must have gone through for the decade that he was locked in this nursing home, I can't even begin to imagine. But he wrote his screenplay in the style of a 1970s TV murder mystery movie of the week, wherein he's the bad guy. And there's a taboo subject matter in this as well.
And it really, Crispon, just looking at the footage of this, you really capture that, as you see cinematically, it really has that feeling.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it has an aged feeling to it.
It's what's beautiful about the film, to me, is there was a feeling, an emotional quality to his screenplay that you have to see the film essentially to really understand what it is, but there was something that needed to come out of him. He died within a month after he finished shooting.
No kidding.
But
so he never got to see the final cut.
He never got to see the film, but I know that had he gotten to see it, the thing that was important that was in the screenplay came through. I should also mention about the books.
Yeah, let's talk, because this is part of a live performance.
Each night before the films, I'll be performing a live show of 8 different books. There's 2 different shows. Each show is a different on each night. And these books, as you can see, are heavily illustrated. This one's the first one I published years ago, called Rat Catching, and I dramatically narrate these books, and each show is an hour long. Then I show the feature film. Then I have about a 1.5 hour Q&A, because, like I said, the questions are very important.
Yeah, there is a lot of questions.
And then I have a book signing afterwards. So now books are available at the show.
So now the slideshow, the big slideshow, which is the live performance, they're different slideshows each night.
That's right.
So we're going to see a completely different lineup. So both nights we want to clear out to be part of this artistic experience.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm I'm looking forward to. I haven't been in New Mexico before.
Really?
I've been touring for 9 years with these. With What Is It? The second film I've been touring for 7 years. So next year will be my 10th anniversary.
No
of
kidding.
touring. I'm glad to, it takes a long time because I haven't put these films out digitally. I've kept them in the analog realm.
I was going to say, so you shot this on 35 millimeter.
I shot both of these on 16,
Oh, on 16.
with standard 16, but blown up to 35 millimeter prints, and I'll be showing a 35 millimeter print at the Guild, which is, it's increasingly rare.
Yeah.
And there is a quality to 35 millimeter, film capturing and 35 millimeter projection that. At some point, I think people will start to realize that it's important to go to places like the Guild that still do celebrate analog film.
Yeah. And Keith,
filmmaking.
obviously a big proponent of it. Keith over at the Guild does such great stuff to, preserve that.
Yeah.
So, obviously New Mexico film, very huge. Crispon, do you have any plans to make any movies here?
Well, I'm making another film right now. In fact, I'll show 10 minutes of the film I'm making at property I own in Czech Republic.
With your father, correct?
Yeah, that's right. It's the first time he and I've ever acted together in a scene. Was just late last year. It was interesting. You know, I'm an actor probably because grew up around the business. My father's an actor. He's in films like Chinatown and Diamonds Are Forever. And it's very interesting to look. I'd never looked into his eyes as a fellow actor.
Right.
Which and I'll be showing a little bit of that. The
So
first thing that I ever did will be in a clip that I'll show during the Q&A.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So lots of fun. So of course this is tomorrow night, Friday night, Saturday night at the Guild Cinema.
Yeah.
People just walk up, they get tickets. I don't think they can buy advance. Is that right?
I know they could. I don't know
They
the
could,
policy,
okay.
but
Okay, well, what we'll do, folks, is put links to the Guild Cinema at krqe.com under links. You can check it out again. Starts 7 p.m. Must be 18 years or older, folks. Friday and Saturday. Lots of fun stuff. Crispon, a true artur.
Well,
Such a pleasure to meet you, my friend.
I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We'll be right back, folks.
Thank you.